Hey, my name's Christian. I'm part of the team here at multitracks.com, and I am so pleased that you could join me here in our Austin office for today's webinar. The feature I'm going to show you today is one that I've been so excited to show you, and I can't wait for us to dive into Playback and for you to see all that you can do with our new feature. Today's feature feels like one of those landmark moments for us, where we are not only so proud of the work that we've done, but we're excited to see what you do with it too. We believe it's going to unlock a new level of creativity in your worship leading, as well as saving you time in the process. It feels a bit like the time I introduced MIDI out, the ability to send MIDI notes and program changes to 8 different buses to control lights, lyrics, patches, and more. Or the time we introduced Pad Player, the ability to choose from a variety of different pads that would sit underneath your tracks that could be tied to the key or not, so that you could work through transitions more seamlessly. Coupled with that, we recently introduced song section pre-roll, where we can press play and fade in over a 1-bar count-in. And all of these are tools for you to use in your worship leading that save you time and also for those improv moments. In a similar vein, we did something with section, click only, and also tap tempo. But today's feature, I think, takes that to the next level. One of the meetings that I sit in every Monday in this office here is one with our support team and our product team. And our product team get to hear from our support girls and guys around features that our customers wish that they had or problems that they're facing. So it was a few Mondays ago when we're sat on that call when the support team started asking us some questions around arrangements inside of Playback. Things like, can I automate the pad to only turn on during certain sections of the song? Maybe there's a bridge or a chorus where I want the pad to come in, but I don't want it there for the rest of the song. What about that electric guitar that I really only need for the bridge or for the verse, but I don't want it the rest of the time? Or the one that was really interesting to me was, our band struggle to play this particular intro. Can I change the click to put in the 16ths or the accents so that my band can stay in time more accurately? So we love to innovate here at multitracks.com, and we got in around that request and we said, how can we bring this new feature to Playback? So today I'm really excited to introduce automations to you inside of Playback. But here's the challenge. We can do automations in many different doors, things like Ableton Live, Pro Tools, etc. But we have to go and manually draw that automation point on a fader. And it works in absolute volume, absolute measures. So I'm always at 100, now I'm at 75, now I'm at 25, etc. But none of that really works inside of a Playback worship leading environment. We need the ability to change lots of faders in lots of different directions from lots of different points of the song. So our team have worked incredibly hard and innovated to bring you this incredible new feature. I'm going to show you how you can use automations. I'm going to show you how you can turn it on, how you can automate different faders instantly or over a variety of beats. And then I'm going to invite all of you to try it out for free. We love our beta testing team here at multitracks.com, and by signing up for the team, I'm going to put automations in Playback 8 inside of your hands today for free for you to check out, just in exchange for feedback. So let's dive in. Let's get inside of Playback and let's see all of the things that automations can do. So inside of Playback, the first big significant change you'll notice is what happens when you press the edit button. Now you'll remember, currently when you press the edit button, you get a drop-down menu of different edit functions. This has been super powerful, allows you to edit so much of Playback. The challenge here is, if you wanted to change context, you'd have to go into edit, make your change, press done, then press edit again and go into a different edit mode. Well, now we've made that whole workflow much easier. When I press edit, you'll notice that this drawer slides out from the bottom. Now I can go in and change set list, MIDI cues, MIDI mapping, keyboard mapping, SIMD, anything else, and then press done. And when I press done, everything saves back up to my arrangement or my set list for me. You'll also notice there's a new feature right here called automation, and that's what this whole webinar is about. So let's have a look at automation and how it works. I'm going to work with the song Firm Foundation, and the very first thing that I want to do is decide that the acoustic guitar is going to turn off during the intro and turn back on during that first chorus. So let's go halfway through the intro, just for this demonstration, and press the plus icon. It's now asking me to give that automation a name and choose how long it's going to take for that automation to take place. I'll show you that in a moment. And I can also put notes and descriptions so that I can recall that and see that later on. Right now, I'm just going to press add. You'll notice that a whole load of things for the pad player button, the MIDI mute, faders, buses, the mix inside the pad player, they've all gone green, and the master fader. Anything that's green can have data written to it for an automation point. So right now I'm going to find that acoustic guitar stem, here it is, and I'm just going to tap it to mute it. That's now muted. I'm going to wind to chorus, I'm going to press plus again, and I'm going to add another automation point, and I'm going to unmute it. Now, for those few bars, the acoustic guitar is going to turn off, and then when I hit chorus, it's going to turn back on. Let's press done, and let's see that in action. Now, before I press play, you'll notice that that acoustic guitar is turned on. If I wind the playhead in between the two, you'll notice that it's off, and then behind that second automation point, it's back on. So let's just hear that play and see that work in real time. So let's start it from about here.
Intro, 2, 3,
As
4,
we go into
5,
intro, the
6.
acoustic guitar is playing. We hit this first automation point, and the acoustic guitar mutes beautifully.
Chorus
And now
1.
as we hit the chorus, it turns back on again. So we can now use those simple automation points to turn on and off different instruments anywhere down the timeline as many times as we'd like to. And honestly, if that's all we did for automations, that would be a really powerful tool. But you know by now that that's not how we work here. So we stretched that idea and said, how much more creativity can we empower you to play with? So let's put another automation point just after this one. So to do that, I'm going to press edit, press automation, and I'm going to press the plus icon. Now this time, I want an automation point to take place over 10 beats. That's quite a significant amount of the bar, but let's put that over 10 beats and press add. You'll notice that now it's got a green dot with a line showing the length of that transition. So now I'm just going to do a few things. I'm going to pull the acoustic guitar to half volume, pull the bass all the way down, or the sub bass and the bass. The FX is going to go down. I also want to turn up the 16ths on the click, pull the accent down. What else do I want to do? Pull the percussion down and maybe the drums as well, just so we've got lots of things to look at. And I'm going to press done. Now let's press play from the same point and watch what happens now.
Intro, 2, 3,
We go
4,
into the intro
5,
with
6.
my standard mix. We hit the first dot inside the intro in the acoustic guitar, turns off, there it is. Now
Chorus
the dot's
1.
going to turn the acoustic guitar back on. Now as we hit this last dot, watch what happens. All the faders start to move, some down, some up, all at a different rate, so that by the time we come out of that automation point, the mix is exactly as I wanted it to be. Now what's amazing about the way this is programmed is Playback is looking at where is the fader or the button before the transition, where is it afterwards, how long is the transition, and automatically doing all the magic under the hood for us. So if one fader is going from 100 to 25 and one is going from 30 to 40, maybe one is only going down by 5 points, Playback is going to look at all of that information and apply that transition for you. You don't need to go and manually draw automatic points all the way down at an absolute volume. Now we can just have that automate for us. And if we make a mistake, editing automation points is really easy. We're going to tap edit, we're going to tap automation. I'm going to find the point I want to edit, this one here. And now I can remove, so let's say I don't want automation on bass, I can press that minus button and bass will return back to the original mix. But I can also add an automation to effects. Or maybe I want to move that entire automation point down the line. I'm going to press nudge, and I'm going to nudge that automation point further down the timeline, press done and accept, and done, and now it works. Because Playback is looking at the start value and the end value, it doesn't matter if I live reorder further down the song. So maybe I'm in bridge and I jump back to chorus, or whether I play it as normal, or whether I loop. Whatever happens, Playback is going to be smart enough to know where are the faders now, where do they need to go, and automatically work out the rest for you. Now, if we were to pause for a moment and think about ways you might use this, already probably your mind's running, but let's have a think. Maybe there's a section where my drummer and my rhythm section are struggling to keep time. I could add in the accent. I could add in the 16ths just for that section of the song. Maybe there's a really quiet bridge that I want to add the pad on top, but I don't want the pad elsewhere in the song. I can now automate the pad. Maybe I could automate MIDI to mute. So for that one section of the song, Pro, Presenter and Lights don't change and they stay where they are. Maybe I want the master volume to change. You get the idea. Maybe I take a quiet verse and a really loud bridge and I put them together, but that jump in audio is too drastic. Now I can use automations to crossfade and set some transitions between those two sections as well. What I love about our development team is when we gave them this idea, they came back to us and said, this is amazing, but what happens when a customer is leading worship and they want to make a change live in the moment? Should the automations they've made the decision on, let's say on a Wednesday, override Sunday, or should the act of leading worship take precedent over those changes? Well, let's have a look at that. If I was to press play here and start to move the faders myself, you'll notice that those faders have gone orange. Because they've gone orange, automation is going to be ignored on the faders that I've interacted with. So maybe I'm leading worship and I really just want to change the piano volume or the percussion volume. Now I've overridden automations. You'll notice that there's a new green icon up here next to the pause button. When I press that button, all the faders that are orange will return back to the green and return back to the value they should be at this point in the song. Let's do that right now and watch those faders move back to where they should be. So again, I've got the ability to set an automation decision to my arrangement ahead of time and still interact with it and change live in the moment as well. So that's automations. I'm really excited for you to get your hands on this build and put it through its paces and tell us how we could improve it or how you would use it in your own church. So this is the offer. We want to make this Playback 8, the new version of Playback, free for all of you to use for a limited period of time, in exchange for your feedback on how we can make this even better and how you would use it. So there's a QR code on the screen. There's also a link down in the comments. Click that, give us your Apple ID, and we will send you the beta build of Playback. It goes into our Ring 2 beta testers tomorrow. So do this form and we will send you the build for you to test out. Then in about 10 to 14 days time, we're going to send you an email with a form to ask you some questions about how you found it and how we can improve it. Whether you've been using a different software, whether it's been something like Ableton Live or another iOS app, we would love for you to check this out and really compare it to your workflow. Can we save you time? Can we give you tools to be more creative, to lead worship more effectively? And how would you use automations in your environment? Click that link, check it out, and we will help you that if you really love it, to make the full transition to make Playback your choice of software going forward. I want to thank our beta testers, both our Ring 1 and our Ring 2 team, who diligently put Playback under weight every week to see if we can improve it and give us feedback. Thank you guys and girls for the work that you do, and I'm excited to get your feedback. But we're going to open up that beta Ring 2 team for anybody that wants to check out Playback 8 and specifically automations. So click on that link, give us your feedback. I'm really excited how I'm going to use automations, and I can't wait to hear your stories of how you use it in your building as well. Until next time, take care and God bless.